I just wanted to give a quick refresher on some of the things you can do in the LIMS area. First off, I wanted to show you how you can approve your own test results, because if you need early breaks done, the lab manager doesn't review breaks until the end of the day. You need them sooner. You would go to the To Review area. Once cylinders have been broken and the results have been entered, they go into the To Review section. So we're in the cast cylinders right now, and we come here, and you would check mark the ones that you want to approve, and you hit approve. And it will ask you if you want to make a report at that time. You can do it then if you want. You don't have to, because the next thing I wanted to go over is the Finalize All feature. There's been a lot of questions about whether you can finalize all break results at once without having to finalize each page when you're putting together transmittals. So you can do this, but you can only do it from LIMS, from the lab area. So how that works is you would go to Done. You go to the sample type that you're looking for. We'll go to cast cylinders. And then you're going to need to use the filters above, because these are the results for every specimen that comes through the lab. This is the whole company. So you'll want to apply some filters, maybe the project number. So I've just set the filter to Signet for that project. If we wanted a narrower scope of dates or something, we do that here. So you'll need to play with your filters up here if you want to use the Finalize All feature. So then what you would do is you come over here and you would choose the specimens that you want to create the reports for. So what you can do here too is you only need to select one of each sample, and I'll show you why in a moment. So I'm choosing one from each sample, 265, 525, 526, 542, 773. So let's say that I wanted to make a batch report for all of these. I would say create batch report. Now this is why you only have to select one checkbox per sample, because it asks me, would you like to generate a batch report for the selected records? And then I can choose to say all specimens in the sample. So I can do that here. I would say yes. Now it asks for your report note, which, as I've said before, is very helpful when you're trying to keep track of which reports you've sent when you're in delivery, because it will get confusing to have the reports done multiple times with the same set, because if you're sending the 7 days and the 28 days, it's much harder to tell the difference between the two without looking at the date or the report note. I thought was a good shortcut for that, but it's not required. It's however best you can stay organized. And the downside here is that you can't see what the break age is from the LIMS area, so I wouldn't know what to put for the report note if you're going with that. If you're putting the age here, you can't see that easily here. So just a word to the wise. The report label should always be the compressive strength of whatever the material is. In this case, it's concrete. And I know the description looks blank. I promise it's not. It is done automatically behind the scenes, so just leave that blank. Then you would hit continue. And this is where I highly recommend that you use Chrome with Metafield, because if you're using Internet Explorer, I've noticed that the download window will come up at the bottom, and you have to open it up and save it elsewhere, and it's not as smooth as it could be. So now we have the 5 reports, and I can look at it here, I can see what's going on, but now if I need to make any changes to it, I have to close this thing and go back into quality control and make changes. So if if partly cloudy, that's what I understand PC to stand for, if you want that spelled out, you would have to go into quality control and type out partly cloudy. So that's the disadvantage to doing that here, is that you can see it, but you can't easily edit it in the lab section. But at any rate, you can see it all. You can go to the next, and you see the second one. Okay, it looks all good, blah, blah, blah. So you would go through each of these, ideally, look at them, make sure that everything makes sense. So now we've gotten to 505. And now I can say Finalize All, which I'm not going to hit because I don't want to accidentally make a report when I shouldn't. But you would hit Finalize All, and that will finalize all 5 of these reports for you. And so that's how you can finalize everything at once, because as you've noticed, when you're in quality control, you only have the option to finalize each page. So you can go this route if you'd like. If you prefer the QC way, you can certainly continue to do it that way too. But I'm going to close this out. And whenever you close something like that, it's just asking, are you really sure that you want to close that? Because you're going to lose any approvals that you made, I believe. So I'm just saying okay. And that's how you can make a bunch of reports at once from LIMS without having to finalize each page. Please feel free to send me with questions.